Sheer, we need to talk about the offensive line first. Very, very bullish about everything that's gone on. Our boy Leif Magnuson. I do not care. He is listed as second string on the depth chart, or Leif Magnuson looking very, very good. And we like this, Jason Shear, because we were a big fan of Leif and Quinn Magnuson. This is true.
Yeah, I would assume Ryan Stewart starts the season opener. There's probably some uh, warming up that Leif has to do in terms of getting in shape and all that. But he's back. I mean, he's back. He's a full participant in practice. That is very, very big news for the offensive line, because at the very least, let's say Stewart starts or Leif starts, whoever it may be, now all of a sudden you got a really good guard that you can put in, and all of a sudden that depth looks a lot better.
All right. By the way, we need to talk about Leif here for a second, because again, maybe we're a little bit biased because we very much like Leif, but Leif is the stabilizer on this offensive line. I do not care what anybody says. Last year when Arizona went into the Alamo Bowl, let's be honest, you had some guys out there that shouldn't have been out there. And then when they put Leif Magnuson in there, Leif, not Leaf, Leif, when they put Leif in there, everything settled down, Sheer. It was very exciting. And again, this is a stabilizer. This is one of those guys you don't know what you have until he's not on the field, maybe even by the coach's discretion, Jed Fish.
Yeah, but I think we also want to be clear, like, we're not dissing Ryan Stewart here.
Not at all.
Ryan Stewart has had a very nice camp. Everyone loves him, etc. It's just that I think we know what you're getting with Leif a little bit more. And you mentioned the Alamo Bowl. I mean, that sticks out to me. Just the fact that it took so long for Leif to get on the field when it was clear that there was a problem. So, by the way, Joe Borjan, starting tackle for San Diego State.
Have fun with that one. All right, but let's talk about the Arizona interior offensive line. Now we get people like Jay Merck and stuff, some well-meaning trolls that are always like, Arizona's got no depth. I have no concern about the depth on the interior offensive line. Literally none. Between Wendell Moy, between Leif, between Ryan Stewart, Josh Baker, Grayson Stovall has shown out as well. So again, I am more than okay with the depth on this offensive line and the deuce boost.
Yeah. The interior depth on the offensive line I'm cool with. I do think there's a reasonable drop off between Baker and Stovall, but I don't think it would be crippling or anything like that. I think really highly of Baker, but Deuce had a very nice camp. We talked about Stewart and Leif, and yeah, the interior of the offensive line, I have no issues with. I think it's going to be really good.
All right, now let's talk about back the A-Ray. The great back the A-Ray says Ryan Stewart getting meaningful reps these last 2 weeks is very important for the remainder of the season. I got no problems with Leif getting 100. Marathon, not a sprint, to quote Nipsey Hussle. The marathon continues, my friend. But with Ryan Stewart, we need to talk about him for a second, because with Ryan Stewart, let's be honest here, this is a good football player that has had a lot of injuries, and like you said, and some other people said, he would have been starting for basically ever at San Jose State had he not keep getting hurt.
Yeah, I mean, this would be a guy that would have 30 starts. I mean, they loved him at San Jose State. I remember one camp I was doing research. They talked highly. They said he was going to be a stud, and then he goes and he hurts his knee and he's out for the year. And that's happened a few times. And this is the first camp where he's made it through healthy, knock on wood, and he's been fine during camp. I know games are different than camp, but you look at him and I don't really think anything has stood out about him being bad or anything like that.
All right, now, I think it's Mr. Tyler Warden. Mr. Tyler Warden, the great Mr. Tyler Warden as well. So many greats in this chat today. All right, but Mr. Tyler Warden says, I would feel so much better about the O-line if we had a swing tackle. Totally agree. That's where I'm at. Totally fine with Rhino. Totally fine with Big Jonah. I do worry about that because Michael Wooten, I'll be honest with you, does worry me if he has to play. Matthew Lotto could be good in the future. He worries me as well. Yes, the tackles can't get hurt.
Yeah, I mean, Wooten's hurt anyway. He's not playing this weekend. Right now, it's Matthew Lotto and Zarius Wells, and no disrespect to either. That's not good. Zarius Wells isn't bad. He's not what you want. I mean, you want to be starting a walk-on offensive lineman. Matthew Lotto is not ready, just to be blunt. He should not play this year any meaningful snaps. And that's not me throwing away his career. The guy's a true freshman tackle. Like, those are hard to find, right? Lotto's just not ready. That's why I'm a little surprised that Deuce wasn't moved to tackle as opposed to guard, especially when you bring on Capra. I think that makes a lot of sense now. Maybe that's something they do down the road, but that surprises me.
I might have a little bit of an insight on this. Here's what the Deuce boost. I think the problem with Deuced is that he's much better, at least from what somebody told me. He's much better on the interior, and that he doesn't operate great in space. When he's actually, when he has to move his feet, that's when it becomes kind of a problem for him. But I'm with you, though. I would still rather have the Deuce boost as kind of that swing tackle than on the inside, because like I said, I'm not thrilled about it. And a guy that I was hoping would be good, I just don't see is going to see the field in Jonah Rodriguez.
Well, I like having the guy I don't even think he was that good, but remember, like, Sam Lange used to move from guard, tackle, right, and he would play multiple positions. They don't have that guy. Like, and I think some of it is like Capra came late in an ideal situation. Capra's good. Now you have more depth, but like Shenko, great kid, didn't crack the depth chart, right? Like, Tylen Gonzalez, tackle, hasn't been able, and they gave him a chance, a real chance, hasn't been able to crack the depth chart. Like, Elijah Payne, like, we talk about the previous coaching staff and their hits, but man, they missed on quite a few offensive linemen.
And almost all of these guys were also projects, Kai, as well. And like I said, a lot of the projects worked out, but a lot of them really didn't. Like I said, with Elijah Payne or Tylen Gonzalez, I'd be stunned if they were actually really contributors here. I would love to be wrong on that. I do not see that one happening.
Yeah, I mean, Payne's not good enough. Tylen's not good enough. Matthew Lotto, I think, is good. He's just a true freshman, but like the guys in the program that have been here a few years just aren't good enough. The fact that you have to bring in a Michael Wooten, who's never played a meaningful snap pretty much, maybe like 3 meaningful snaps, and he's automatically the backup tackle. Again, no disrespect to Wooten, but that's more of a indictment of the other guys on the roster than it is a compliment to him, probably.
All right, now let's get back to the tackles. Mr. Tyler Warden. We can't forget that Polito has really strained the step. That is true. I also am at the point, though, with Polito. How do I put this? I was never banking on Polito because a couple different reasons. He's always hurt. He's always hurt. There's some other issues going on there as well. I was never really banking on him being the starter, and I don't think the coaches were either.
Yeah, I would agree with you. How could you? And that's not even a talent thing. It's you got to be healthy, right? Like, I mean, you don't participate in the spring. You would have been out for the beginning of fall camp. He didn't do anything during the summer. I think people realize he was not a part of the team the entire summer. So let's say he made the magical decision to join the team for the fall. He would have been completely out of shape.
Right. No, I get it. And on top of that, I never looked at him and said, that's there was just always a lot of issues going on there. And again, not a bad kid at all. So we definitely don't want to make it out like that's that. But I'll put it to you like this. I would be fairly surprised if he's ever a contributor at the U of A.
I'm more curious, forget about contributor. I'm more curious if he ever plays football again.
We all silly like the mayor.